claiming that fraud-plagued Minnesota has racked up extraordinary expenses due to the recent ice surge in their state. Governor Tim Walz now demanding that the Trump administration pick up the entire tab. And in a goofy, absurd twist, he's asking them to fork over hundreds of millions of dollars in reimbursement. Sure, no problem. Along with his buddy and fellow Democrat Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, the governor bizarrely claims that ICE raids eventually wound up costing his state more than $200 million in lost revenue and overhead, though he conveniently fails to break down those expenditures. You got to itemize, son. He continues his tantrum by saying that because the federal government is directly responsible for creating the problem in the first place, they're now obligated to pay up and fix what they broke. And in his view, that means they must now compensate the good people of his fine state for shouldering the economic and emotional burden of ICE's recent operation. Somebody needs a hardcore reality check. Furthermore, Walz claims that sooner or later there's going to be legitimate accountability for what recently happened in Minnesota. However, he says that the federal government needs to start owning up to their recent mistakes by first taking full responsibility for their actions. Okay, Timmy boy, but you first. Tell us where that $9 billion went. He also goes on to argue that no matter how you slice it or dice it, the feds don't simply get a free pass to break things in Minnesota and then bail out of the area without doing anything at all to repair all the damage they caused. As a result, the governor says he's now calling on state lawmakers to do everything in their power to make sure the Trump administration pays them back for all their lost funds. However, even wacky Mayor Frey seems to be a bit more realistic when he says that he's not naive enough to think they'll get the entire amount. Well, we'll give you maybe 20 or 30 clams, and that's pretty much it. And take it or leave it. Meanwhile, despite facing a federal investigation concerning billions of dollars worth of fraud, he's already announced plans to shell out at least $10 million worth of something he calls forgivable emergency loans designed to help small businesses who can prove they were financially harmed by ICE's recent Operation Metro Surge. Fact check. Forgivable loans, that's code for more free money. It's how they do it in Minnesota. For his part, border czar Tom Homan, mocking the governor's latest rant, says that while he agrees to a lot of things are broken in Minnesota, they simply aren't because of the Trump administration. He also wants to know why Walz didn't ask for reparations from the former Biden administration for their utter failure to safeguard our nation's broken southern border. Speak up, Governor Timbo. Cat got your tongue? There's the hotline right there. Ring through anytime. We'll put you on the air. In the meantime, Walz now admits he'd rather eat glass than potentially take over a vacant seat in the U.S. Senate, thus sparing us all from his long-winded diatribes if he were ever to mount one of his lengthy filibusters over yonder on Capitol Hill. Final thought, and this is the News Roundup Lowdown, and here's the way I see it. The soon-to-be ex-governor of Minnesota wants the federal government to use our tax dollars, yours and mine, to pay for damages in his state, which he claims were caused by the Trump administration. Well, clearly, the damage done, especially in Minneapolis, was caused by him, Ilhan Omar, Mayor Frey, and a bunch of their cohorts. They're the ones who encouraged people to battle federal law enforcement agents while they were simply attempting to do their jobs. He's running the state. He's in charge, at least for now. He's fully responsible for absolutely everything, and he's not getting one red cent from the Fed, at least not on my watch, anyway. This is really no different than the soft rock band Guns N' Roses taking the presidential suite at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Manhattan. After they check in, they invite the Rolling Stones and a few hundred complete strangers to stop on over for a nightcap. Now, they party all night long, wrecking life for other hotel guests, trashing the room, lighting fires, breaking the windows, and just kind of demolishing the place. Sadly, dare I say tragically, at the end of the night, they find out that one of their precious little guitars or accordions gets a bit banged up, so they demand $1 billion in damages from the overpriced Motel 6. Exactly. Doesn't work that way. It's not going to happen. Governor Walz, you broke it. You fix it. You're in absolutely no position to tell the federal government to pay for your mess. You're the single most, in my mind, most ineffective, incompetent, and by some accounts, the most corrupt governor in the history of our country. Yeah, you even beat out that former Illinois governor, Rod Blagojevich. Remember him? He's the one they used to affectionately call the Senate seat-selling governor. We all remember him very fondly. And one more thing, a love letter to Tim Walz from the whole country. Dear Unky Tim, the $9 billion in fraud in your state. Should the Fed pick up the tab for that as well? Love, America. Hey, Bill Thomas here. If you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. And don't forget to check out our channel, News Roundup with Bill Thomas. And that's where you can catch our full program and more videos. And we'll see you right back here next time.